I didn't hear anything because it was so poor. So I have to correct Thomas. So there's only one former Leipzig player and two young Leipzig players here. So I said it already. I believe that if somebody would have forecasted in the group phase that we basically proceed into the round of 16 and play in Leipzig, then I would have said, well, you are very optimistic. But it's amazing that we've made it this far. But I believe it's not a coincidence that we play in this stadium tomorrow. I can remember when in 2012 I started here, we played versus Optik Rathenau and the second squad of Union Berlin. Well, that was 12 years ago. And I'm more than happy to be here tomorrow. But I'm also very happy for the two guys next to me that are current players at RB Leipzig and also Savitzer that also contributed to the squad here. And I also hope that many Austrian fans and also RB Leipzig fans will support us tomorrow. Well, yeah, just as the coach said, it's something special. So we have some familiar faces here amongst the journalists. I saw some familiar faces outside as well. And it's something special when you walk inside of the stadium and just feel at home because you've played most matches in this stadium during the season and you've had amazing experiences and moments in the stadium. So therefore we look forward to have this match here in Leipzig. I can just agree. I feel so well and comfortable when entering the stadium. And I think it's just an advantage to be able to play in Leipzig here. We look forward to tomorrow, and it'll be just an amazing game. Well, good afternoon. Torbert Giegler, small newspaper, Austria. Question to two players. It's been a long week. So basically, the preparation was quite, well, not so normal for a tournament. So, how did it work out just to keep up the tension for this match? Well, we know the rhythm basically from the Bundesliga, where we also play Saturday and Saturday, where we have 7 days in between. So, therefore, it's nothing extraordinary for us, the players. Well, probably it's something extraordinary in a tournament like this, but we know it. And I think we've managed to do this balance act between regeneration and just getting your head free and also just get your head away from football for a few days. And then you also, when the first round of 16 matches started, you could realize how, this feeling in your gut started to return and how your tension started to return as well. Well, everything's said. Okay, next question here, front row.
TRT from Turkey.
TLT.
Last March you played against Turkey and it was a disaster game for Turkey. Do you have any progress at Turkish national teams football? And what do you consider about our weakest and strongest part?
Ja, ich glaube, für uns in unserer Mannschaft, in unserer Gruppe war dieses Spiel jetzt auch in der Vorbereitung kein großes Thema.
Also in the preparation phase, this was not a big topic. I think it didn't have any influence on the match, and it will not have an influence on the match and the result for tomorrow. We know that the Turkish squad is very strong, that they also try to find good solutions, and no one of us will believe just because we won this friendly in the past. And well, we also won it too high basically because the match could turn out in a totally different way. So we do not believe that we are in an advantage tomorrow. So we totally focus on our way of play, also adjusted towards what Turkey will require from us. And as I said, it doesn't play a role whether we won or not in the friendly. So the colleague in the second row then.
From Türkiye, Çiğdem Günal. I want to ask to Mr. Rangnick. Two coaches with different philosophies will play tomorrow. And what are the differences between your football style and Montella's style?
Between Montella and? Ja, das ist ja nicht meine Aufgabe, das zu bewerten. Das ist
Well,
eher,
basically, it's not
Entschuldigung,
my
Ihre
task
Aufgabe. Wir
to
spielen
evaluate.
unseren
Basically,
Stil,
it's your
unseren Fußball.
task, right? So we
Und ob
just
es da
play
jetzt
our
Unterschiede gibt
football,
oder
our
nicht,
style.
weiß ich
And
nicht.
whether there are
Was schon ein
differences or
bisschen
not, I
auffällig
don't
ist,
know.
zumindest jetzt in dieser
Well, what is
Europameisterschaft, ist, dass
obvious,
es
well, in
relativ
this
viele
Euros at
Mannschaften gibt,
least,
die
is that there are
ja,
many
sehr
teams
gegnerorientiert, mannorientiert
that
spielen und
are very
nur
oriented
sehr wenige
towards the
Mannschaften,
individual
die
person,
ja,
so they're one-on-ones,
ballorientiert,
right?
aggressiv,
And
viel
only few
attackieren
teams
und
play
sicherlich
ball-oriented,
ein Unterschied,
attack
den es gibt.
early, etc. So I
Aber
think this is a difference that
auch da
exists.
entscheidend ist morgen
But
auf dem Platz. Ab
well,
jetzt
I
geht es noch nicht
think
um
tomorrow
Entwicklung oder
the
sonst
decision will
irgendwas,
take
sondern
place on the
es
pitch.
geht
So it's not
darum,
about
weiterzukommen,
development
Spiele zu
now.
gewinnen.
It's just about,
Und wir brauchen auch
to
morgen wieder
win
eine sehr
matches and
konzentrierte,
proceed
eine
to the
sehr,
next phase. So we need to have a very
sehr
focused and
gute
concentrated
Leistung,
and in particular
um
good
morgen
performance on the
weiterzukommen, zu
pitch
gewinnen.
tomorrow in order to get to the next round. Well, the colleague in the center.
Hi, Nick Ames from The Guardian in London. Question for Mr. Rangnick, please. We've seen so far that the Turkey games have been quite emotional, quite highly charged and pressured, and you could argue that the Czech players last week maybe got a bit sucked into it. There were lots of yellow cards and lots of different things going on. Will you say, or have you said anything to your players about handling the specific nature of this occasion against Turkey?
Ja, ich weiß gar nicht. Wir haben natürlich das Spiel gesehen.
Well, I don't know. Well, of
Ich
course, we
finde,
watched
dass
the match.
die Tschechen das über weite Strecken gut
I
gemacht haben.
believe that the Czechs
Und
did
auch
it
sehr
very well during a
körperbetont
long
gespielt
period of
haben. Aber ich
time.
glaube,
So
der
they
eigentliche
did a
Unterschied
very
war die frühe
physically
gelb-rote
strong
Karte,
match. But
die
I
früh in
think
Unterzahl
the
gebracht hat. Ich
yellow-red
weiß nicht,
card at an early
ob das Spiel
stage
ohne
and
sich
to
entwickelt
be
hätte,
just
wenn
10
die
on the
Netzzahl gereicht
field
hätte.
at
Aber
an
sie
early
waren eben schon
stage,
sehr früh
this
einmal
was
im Weg geworden.
probably the turning point.
Für unser
I
Spiel morgen
think.
gilt
I don't know whether
natürlich,
the
wissen wir,
match
dass
would have
die Türkei
changed
eine
or would have
Mannschaft ist,
developed
die auch
differently.
versuchen wird, Emotionen
But
ins
for
Spiel zu
today,
bringen.
we know that
Für uns
Turkey is
wird
a
es darauf
team
ankommen, für unsere
that
Spieler.
will
Sie brauchen ja auch jede Menge
include
Energie. Sie brauchen
emotions.
auch
So
das
we, for
höchstmögliche
our way of
Energielevel. Wir
playing,
brauchen,
need the
um es
highest
ein
level of
bisschen
energy.
plastisch darzustellen, auch heiße Herzen auf dem Platz.
And
Aber
we
wir brauchen
also need
trotzdem in
to
solchen
have
Situationen ab
hot
und zu mal
hearts. We have to be
Darauf wird es
really,
aus meiner Sicht
we have
für
to be
unsere
there with
Mannschaft
our
ankommen.
hearts and strong in energy because that is what it will be all about on the pitch
Christian Bayer,
tomorrow.
Servus TV. Herr Rangnick,
Christian Bayer from
der
Servus
Mindset
TV.
von Ihnen war ja
Mr.
klar von
Rangnick.
Anfang an, auch
So
Sie
the
hier
mindset from
haben ja
you
gesagt, wir
basically
wollen weit
was
kommen bei dem Turnier.
basically known
Auch
from
mit
the
der
beginning.
sogenannten
So
Hammergruppe
you
gehabt.
said you
Ich
want
meine,
to
geht
get
man
as
da
far
morgen
as
jetzt in dieses
possible.
Match,
So
geht man
what
da
will happen
möglicherweise als
tomorrow?
Favorit rein? Wie sehen
So
Sie das?
will you probably be
Die
considered the
Fragen, die
favorite
haben Sie mir
tomorrow?
schon bei jedem Gruppenspiel gestellt,
Well, the
so wie
questions
sie dort
basically,
performt haben oder nicht.
those are the
Nein,
questions
es ist
you
schon so,
asked
dass
me
wir in dieser
already in
Gruppe
previous
Gruppensieger
matches.
geworden sind,
And the
zeigt, wie
fact that
konzentriert
we
diese
managed to be first of the
Viertelfinalspiele sind.
group
Die helfen uns
shows how
unheimlich weiter.
just
Das
sense
Turnier beginnt
free
für
your
uns
thoughts
morgen
are at this
eigentlich wieder
point.
völlig von Neuem, weil es
Basically,
geht
the
wieder von Neuem
tournament will
los und
start anew
wir
tomorrow.
müssen ab morgen auch richtig in
And
diesen
therefore,
Playoff-Modus
we
schalten,
really
voll
have to
konzentriert
switch into
sein,
this
voll
playoff
fokussiert
mode
sein,
tomorrow. We have to be
sich im
fully
Klaren sein,
focused,
dass
fully
Fehler
concentrated,
in einem
and be
solchen
fully
Spiel
aware that
nur
errors
schlecht
in
oder fast
such a
grandios zu
match
korrigieren sind. Und wenn
cannot
wir diesen
be
Modus
corrected or can only
durchziehen
be
können, dann
corrected
können wir auch
in a
morgen
very difficult
weiterkommen
way.
und
And if
dann
we,
geht beim nächsten
just
Spiel womöglich dann
play
wieder genau
this
dasselbe.
mode,
Aber wir müssen jetzt erstmal dieses
then
morgige Spiel
we may
vollkommen auf dem
pass
Radar
and
haben
get
und
through the
schauen,
next
was
next
uns Spaß
phase.
macht und was uns dahin
So
gebracht
we
hat,
have to put
wo wir jetzt auch
everything
wieder stehen.
into the match tomorrow onto the pitch and have to
Vielleicht
do
noch
what
weitere
we've done
Infos
in the
zum Spiel.
last couple of questions. Well, probably you can ask the guys a
Hi,
question, not only
Martin
questions
von
for me.
Knorring from TV4 Sweden. A question for Ralf. As a Sweden now, we're here in Leipzig. I have to ask you about Emil Forsberg. Could you see him return here to Leipzig in the future in any kind of management role? Recently, he said that you have been a big inspiration for him and taught him a lot working with things outside the pitch.
Ja, Emil ist ja auch einer der Spieler, der ähnlich wie
Yeah,
Herr
well,
Sabitzer
Emil is one
damals
of the
schon in
players
der
that
zweiten
compared
Liga
to
hierher kam in der
Mr.
Winterpause.
Sabitzer
Marcel kam,
came
glaube ich, schon im
to
Sommer und
Leipzig in
er spielt ja immer noch
the
für
second
einen
league. And I think Marcel
kleinen
came
Club
during
in
summer.
Nürnberg.
and he plays for a Red Bull club in New York. Well, what will happen at the end of his career, I don't know. As I know him, he will play another few years, but at the end of the day, it's not my task to assess it, to decide what will happen to him. But I wish Emil just all the best from the bottom of my heart. And he's just an incredible, important part of the development from us. He's an incredible player. And also, when it comes to the human level, he was incredible.
Frage an Nicolas Seiwald.
Well, a question to Nicolas Seiwald. At RB Leipzig, you didn't have, well, I think enough time to play. I think you would have deserved more. So, what is it like just to come here to the stadium and you're also, one of the important RB Leipzigs? Probably you can play more than 20 minutes or something like that. Well, basically, it's just about, showing good performance tomorrow. My full focus is with Austria. We want to win the match tomorrow in order to have additional matches in the next rounds. And this is my full focus now. Well, Florian Haselmeier, question to Baumel and Niki. The Turkish head coach and Turkey's opinion is that basically your national team plays similar to a club team because you play very well together. So this message, basically, this statement, match, is it true? Well, I think just as soon as our head coach took over, we've developed a specific philosophy. And we try to realize and implement this philosophy, bring it onto the pitch, no matter what team we are playing. And this philosophy is something like an anchor for us that we can adhere to. And I think it's way more difficult to develop something like that in a national team compared to a club team. Because in a club team, you can basically work on that every day. And I think this may be the interpretation of the Turkish head coach.
Andre Rubio from Spanish television. A question for the coach. A whole country, Austria, is very happy with this team. Do you have the feeling that this team could do something special in this tournament? For example, arriving to the final.
Ja, also da sind wir wieder bei dem, was wahrscheinlich ist und nicht wahrscheinlich ist. Ich habe schon zu Beginn des Turniers gesagt, dass wir ins Finale kommen oder gar Europameister werden.
I said at the beginning of the tournament already, I think it's not impossible to become champion or get to the finals. And we all saw Spain yesterday. And it's just a team that does not only have just incredible individual players, but they also play on a very high tactical level with very early pressing, with very great turnovers and transitions. And we are very realistic when it comes to that. And as the boys said, and as I said it already, is there's only one way to get as far as possible, which is to take care of the next match and just deal and consider every next match as if it is the last. And well, this is the philosophy we're trying to apply, and this basically helped us to get to Leipzig today and not somewhere else. And I think this is the only way to get further in the tournament. Question to Christoph. So in the pole match, there was basically the situation where this was this obligatory victory that needs to happen, right? Well, before that, basically, you were an underdog. And now, when you play Turkey, you're basically the favorite, also because of the world ranking, etc. So did you basically work on your mindset? Well, basically, matches like those, they're always a mindset thing or a head thing. And we wanted to win this group. And of course, this match versus Poland was a situation where we had some pressure, of course. But now the situation is that we just have to enjoy every minute left in this tournament, implement what we've been working on the last couple of days. And I think it's just an anticipated joy to the match tomorrow because you just see the entire country looking forward to the match tomorrow. And I think we just want to bring joy to the people in Austria and also the people that come to the stadium and want to show them what we've got in store. Well, if you basically get to the next phase, basically, that would be, well, actually the first time, basically, right, that you've made it into the next round. So does it play an important role? Well, fact is that Austria has not won versus Turkey in the last 35 years in obligatory games. So those are all things that serve to fill newspapers, newspaper articles, etc. I think they will be exciting to be read, but I think they have nothing to do with the results, with the game. Otto Rehagel once said, everything will be decided on the pitch, and this is true for tomorrow as well. So then the colleague in the second row, please, because then the volunteer knows where she has to go. Hello, Mr. Rangnick. I'm from Turkey. The coach basically complained about the semi-automatic offside technology. What do you think about this technology, and what do you think about VAR? Well, I think I was one of the head coaches that already at the beginning of my work at Leipzig promoted the fact why it's not logical that other ball sports use this technology. And I believe that football will become and has become more fair. But of course, there is always room for interpretation. For example, if we have handballs or if we have offside decisions. And the offside decision was so tight. And I could really see the disappointment of the Danish team, and I could understand it. But nevertheless, I'm convinced that if everything, is improved within the next couple of years, and if the right feeling is developed, football will become more just and fairer. And that's the reason why I promote this technology. And nevertheless, I hope that there will be not many VAR decisions tomorrow, and that the match will be decided on the pitch without many VAR decisions. Well, Felix Freumroth, Servus TV. Well, one topic of today's press conference was that the Turkish players are very passionate when they play. So the last match, there were 11 yellow cards. So there was a bit of chaos, right? So how do you adjust yourself to matches like this? So I don't know, do you do anything that you not get provoked very easily? Do you get a cool head, cool mind? So what do you do in advance? Well, you as a player, you know that you have to keep a cool head. This is very important. Well, of course, your pulse in such a game, your adrenaline will be very high. But nevertheless, you need to be clear in your head so that you take the right decisions. And when it comes to your emotions, you have to take the right decisions. Yeah, I totally agree what Nicky says. Well, at the end of the day, it's just a football match, and the highest focus needs to be on us, on ourselves. I think we're a team that is quite aggressive, and therefore, if we also try to include emotions, controlled emotions, and bring those onto the pitch, I think then we don't have to worry at all. So we don't have to worry that we lose control just because we go berserk or what have you, right? Julia Kinnas, Servus TV. Christoph, a question to you because I know it from Nikki. Did Markus Rose approached you as well? Well, yes, we had a phone call during the tournament, so one day after his contract prolongation. So I congratulated him and I said that I'm looking forward to have him with us. He said that he follows our matches. I think he's a bit of a fan of the Austria team, so I think he likes the way we play. And he also said that he wishes us luck for the tournament. I don't know whether he'll be in the stadium tomorrow, because I think he also, just loves and enjoys his holidays and his vacations. But as I said, the focus will be tomorrow in the match. And if we provide good performance, well, the two of us in particular, then I think it'll be of no harm on club level. So let's get to the last row. Johannes Hofer will start. Yes, Johannes Hofer, Sky Austria. Nicky, the head coach characterized it a bit. So what is the big difference between the group stage and the knockout stage? Well, we have to win the match tomorrow to get to the next round. So, well, basically, when you have a good performance, just what we did versus France, losing nevertheless is not enough. So we have to focus tomorrow and win tomorrow. Then the last row, please. Good afternoon, Martin Henkel, Mid-German newspaper. Mr. Rangnick, glad to see you here. Christoph, Nicolas, you three know the stadium by heart. So is that a benefit that you know the pitch? Also the small little dents in the pitch? Well, I think we've been elected best pitch or best grass in Germany. And that is true. We've just an amazing grass and an amazing pitch. And I think this will be a benefit. But to be honest, I don't know where the sprinklers are, but I think it's a very good feeling to get to the stadium. We know many faces in here. And as the coach said it already, I hope that also the neutral fans will be on our side, because I think they have a better relation to us than to the Turkish team. But except for that, it'll be a football match where it's just about winning. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter in which stadium you play, you just have to win. And the rest is just not important. Nicky, everything set? Yeah, well, I can just agree. I don't know where the sprinklers and unevenness are on the pitch. No, as I said, it gives you a very good feeling. It makes you feel comfortable to play on in this stadium, and I hope this will help us tomorrow, and I think it's not a disadvantage. Well, we have row 3 and row 4. Well, Mr. Honisch from the Bild-Zeitung. Question to Mr. Rangnick. Well, what is typical for those two boys next to you, and what is the reason that they didn't play the role in the Bundesliga that they play in your team? Well, both players, they just match our way of play on their respective positions. Well, Nicky on one of the 6 positions and Baumi on the 10 position. And I think has the most value in the center, because there he has a very good eye to deadly passes. Just have a look at the Netherlands match. And this is the main reason why they play with us as they do. And the way of play that we want to bring onto the pitch is very beneficiary to them. So I talked to Nicky before. In the last 3 matches, he basically was on the pitch just every minute, and he managed not to get the yellow card. You have to achieve that. And that Baumi scored 7 times in the last 6 matches, and that he's an important player and can make the difference. This is clear as well, and therefore I'm very happy that we have those 2 boys. But at the end of the day, it is just as Baumi said it's then the entire team that makes the difference. There is no one that says he's more important than the group, and this will be a very important aspect for tomorrow. Benjamin Poster, Leipziger National Newspaper. Question to the three of you. What did you really like during the tournament, except for your own performance? Do you see any trends? And then one particular question to Christoph. Your role here in this national squads and your role in RB Leipzig, how would you describe it? Well, I think that here in the national team, I play a bit of a more different position. Well, at RB, I played as the second forward. But here, basically, I played most matches at, well, the center position. At RB, I played the left to right 10. And except for that, I think it's just minor things. Minor things. Why, or that probably make you guess why it didn't work at RB Leipzig, but in the national team. But I've been playing football for quite a long time, and I know how fast things can change. So therefore, I stay calm and just do my own thing. And another good thing, which is just cool and amazing, is, well, the host nation. I think there's hardly any country than Germany where such a tournament is celebrated in that way, and that there's such a festival. And I think there was many distance goals and many distance shots that took place. This is one important thing. And another thing is that there is a lot of focus in the center. But except for that, football stays the same. And it's just amazing the way it is. Well, I like our fans, our supporters, and they are basically a crucial factor for the tournament. And I just heard that the fact that we were the first of the group was the happiest day of 2 or 3 of my friends, and this makes you proud. Well, I think that we all experienced it together, what happened in Berlin, in the stadium after the match. And I think those 15 or 20 minutes, I think they could have gone on for 2 or 3 hours. You know, fans chanting, singing, etc. And if you see the fans together with the team singing, "I am from Austria," this is just a goosebumps moment. And I hope that we will experience moments like this in the tournament again. So we will have 2 more questions. Christoph Gierker from Servus TV. Question to the players. Sorry, Nikki. I hardly see you. But Darasta basically is presented, well, in a different way now. Basically, England almost, well, had to go home last night, right? And the underdogs basically were very strong. Do you start dreaming now? Well, that's basically the same question if you ask, well, what about the table, right? At the end of the day, everyone checks out the table, right? But the full focus needs to be on tomorrow. We need to clear the path tomorrow first, and then we can find out where we can go. And I'm really serious. So we just focus on tomorrow, and the rest will be seen. Yeah, I can just agree. The full focus needs to be tomorrow, because if we do not win tomorrow, we cannot get to the next round, and we cannot win this tournament. So therefore, we need to give 100% tomorrow and then see what happens. Alex Streicher from the Courier. Question to Christoph. Well, Austria is very aggressive right from the beginning of the match, and you benefited from very quick actions and goals. How important is it for you as a player that you are just right in the match from the beginning and very aggressive? Well, this is basically typical for us, right? Because this is the way we play. So just as soon as we hear the whistle, that we just give 100%, that we start to be aggressive, that we start with pressing, and that you do not wait for a long time to get the perfect pass in order to shoot. Of course, we wait for specific moments, but first and foremost, it's all about being energetic and just go to the opponent's goal. And I think it's not a coincidence that we had very good starts up to now. And that makes it easier, of course, if you are in the lead at an early stage. And if we manage to do that tomorrow, then we'll be very happy. Thank you very much for the questions. Thanks for the answers. Have a nice evening. See you tomorrow.